I wonder where Kevin is.
Hey,
Kevin. Here. There he is.
Yo, what's going on, Lee? Nice shirt, dude.
Love the shirt.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you guys felt welcome today.
Nice,
and I wanted everybody
nice.
to know. I wanted everybody to know that a couple of years ago I was the recipient of graft. So just so you know, everybody knows now. It's on the record.
Yeah.
So Cody and Kevin from Crown Lands, congratulations. Wonderful to see you again. So this has been a crazy couple of weeks for you. A Juno Award. Wow.
I know. We're so thrilled to be recognized like this. It's something, we never even thought we never thought it was possible. I don't know. We didn't think about that. We're just making music, but it's cool to be recognized.
Yeah. The pandemic obviously threw a curl into everything. How did you use the last year and a half to recharge, stay focused, and keep moving? Use it as a positive. Besides the obvious stuff, getting new music put out there.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we took a bit to ourselves, and we really focused on our relationship and fostering a healthier relationship with each other. And then we got a studio space, a chalet, our own little studio space to rehearse, and that's been a godsend, man. Like being able to go there in our own little getaway to write and rehearse and just hang out together as people has really changed everything for us in our dynamic and in our music creative process.
Now that's interesting that you're opening up a certain dynamic that people might not know about, but talking about how you strengthened your relationship. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
It was necessary because we spent 3 years living in a van together and smelling each other's farts and getting on each other's nerves. And touring is excellent, but when you just do it back to back to back to back to back, and you just have no time to yourself, and then your time at home is really time in the studio, it's easy to get on each other's nerves. And then the pandemic hit, and we were at the lowest point in our relationship, and we weren't really getting along. And I think we needed that time to decompress and focus on ourselves and look at our lives holistically. And it's important to recognize if there's one part of your life that's really good, it's going to leak out into everything else. And if there's one part that's really bad, it's going to leak out into everything else. And you can't really compartmentalize your mental health or your physical health when you sacrifice everything for music. And music is quite a demanding career path, both physically and mentally. And so I think both of us needed that time to focus on ourselves. And then we were able to regroup and just turn Crown Lands back into what it once was, which was just Cody and I being complete goofballs in the studio and trying to make each other laugh with how ridiculous we could make our music. And now that we're doing that, we have 8-minute music videos with space goblins and oracles. And now we have an almost 14-minute song accompanying White Buffalo called The Oracle now. So I think we've been able to realize our artistic vision that we've had since the get-go, Lee, because I know when we met you, we were doing 3.5-minute bangers. Not saying we aren't doing that now, because you know I think White Buffalo is a pretty banging tune, if you ask me.
Yeah, but 4.5 banger. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I think when I met you and you really gave us our first shot on the radio, and I got to thank you for that. And the fact that you've believed in us since day one, and you've believed in a lot of bands, and you've put you've put a lot of work into supporting the local scene. And but I told you how we wanted to put more conceptual, longer songs out there, and you're like, definitely do it, but be careful and make sure when the time is right. And I feel like the time is right, because we took a risk with our last release with Context, and people just were so supportive, and they loved it. And so I think that's why I'm really glad that White Buffalo and The Oracle are out now, because it's I feel like it pushes that sound in that direction even further.
Totally.
Yeah, it wasn't so outside of the realm for you guys, knowing of your past influences and everything. But for fans who were acquainted with the EP and the first two albums, it was quite a curveball. So have they moved along with you, or have you received any pushback that way, or are they pretty much open-minded?
Honestly, they're pretty open-minded, and it's really cool to see everybody, getting behind this this new direction and being on board for this sprawling 13-minute songs and stuff. It's really cool because maybe these people never really listened to music like that before, but they're like, okay, I like this past work. This kind of has that in it, but there's more of it. So I'm just gonna stick around longer, and I don't have to change the song. It's great. So it's cool. It's cool having on board from different backgrounds and maybe not the prog rock background.
Yeah. Now, I think that the most important thing about this change is that it's introduced you to a whole different fan base, different tastes, maybe even different age groups.
For sure, absolutely. We're getting like awesome comments about the intricacies and the melodic structure of Kevin's guitar playing now, which is sick. And like our time signatures, like people are, starting to point that stuff out with context and stuff. So it's really cool to have like, some real like intense music heads getting into our music, and we're able to like get geeky with them because we're big nerds, as you know.
Yeah, for sure. Now, so Cody, you're a drummer.
Yeah.
And you're a singer, and you do all of it on stage live.
Yes.
It's really difficult to play drums and sing just straight 2/4, right? Straight 4.
Yeah.
To do so and execute all these very complicated patterns while maintaining your focus up here and down there, you have to think about that when you're composing, no?
Absolutely. And, I think about, first I think about what's the best melody for this song. And then I think it's possible to play and drum. And then we kind of jam it out and we try it out. And if it's possible and it's really difficult, I'll still go for it. And then it's just a matter of getting the muscle memory down, really. Because that's what it's all about. Because when I'm on stage, I'm not, I'm thinking about the drums, but I'm thinking more so about, okay, let's like nail this. Let's feel this song. Let's feel these lyrics, and let's hit it. So yeah, it's definitely really difficult, but I love to challenge myself and push myself.
No, it's every time that we like make a song, Cody's like, oh, next song, it's going to be simple. I swear, I need to give myself a break. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then Cody will play a simple drum part, and it's like, I hate this. It needs to be like, where are the polyrhythms? Where's the 7/8? And then sure enough, the next song is not simple.
Just when you thought you were out, Cody right back in.
Yeah.
That's funny. Cody, I always liked the way you played drums. Obviously, you've taken leaps and bounds over the last couple of years. I would describe you as a very informed drummer. Were you a student? Did you study with anybody, or are you a guy that learned by ear?
So I learned by ear until like the age of 12, and then I took some private drumming lessons for 4 years, and then I studied Afro-Cuban drumming and West Ghanaian African drumming, traditional drumming, hand drumming, at York University for 5 years.
Oh, great. Okay. So you learned to read music, presumably?
Yes.
Good. And how does...
Well, I mean, reading drum sheet music. So.
Hey.
Is that what the readout says? Okay. That's funny. You're also a really, really good singer, Cody. You have wonderful range. Who did you study from anybody, and how do you keep your pipes in shape?
So I started not studying with anyone, just kind of singing in the shower, singing along to my favorite songs. And then a couple years ago, my friend in a band called Moontan, I saw them play.
Yes, I know Moontan.
Moontan rules.
Yeah, Adrian Dyer is the singer's name, and he blew me away with his vocals, and I was like, dude, how do you do it? And then he recommended this online program for singing, and so I've been following that for the past couple years, but I'd never had real lessons until honestly like 2 months ago. So
Wow.
and Yeah, but on the road, I would follow this program, and I would do it way too long, Lee. Like, I gotta level with you. Like, before every show, I'd warm up for like an hour, man. Like, it was ridiculous. Kevin's shaking his head. He knows more than anybody, the
Like,
torture that I put everybody through. But the warm ups and the warm downs, to abbreviate, I've definitely done it too long, but I think those two things are integral to maintaining your pipes for sure, especially on the road.
Okay, and it's kind of like using a muscle, right? You have to keep your vocal cords in shape, right? You can't just.
Yeah, it's like an athlete, right? Like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
start out lifting like 150-pound dumbbells. You start out smaller and you work your way up. And it's exactly like being an athlete, just for your voice. It's a whole set of muscles in there that people don't even realize they got, and you got to work them every day, or else it
also, Cody, do you know anyone who's lifting 150-pound dumbbells? That's pretty intense, dude. I
my
mean,
cousin.
damn, that's wild. I mean, it's like, wow. Anyways.
How did you guys meet?
Oh godly.
Uh-oh.
So like, I crashed my buddy's audition. So Cody was playing drums in this other band, and they were looking for a guitar player. I didn't even play guitar at that point, but I came to the audition anyways because I heard Cody was a big Rush fan. And the second I got into the room, I just pulled my pants down and mooned everybody. And I have a big Rush tattoo on my butt. And that was the cheeky first impression, as it were.
So
And
Cody said, "You're my guitar player now."
I guess so.
He like
Yep.
straight felt kind of bad. The other guy didn't get the gig, but it was, Kev Gecko.
Yeah, we've been stuck together ever since.
What a good and bad. It makes us stronger.
Yeah, dude. No, for
seriously, it
sure
does.
though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that like, the most important part of being in a band is the relationship you have with your bandmate and your crew and the people that you're on the road with, man. Like, I mean, because if you think about it, especially when you're touring, you're playing music for an hour, but there's 23 hours left in the day where you have to hang out together and, be friends. And it's like, if you're not friends, then
Yeah.
it's a rough go. I mean, look at Metallica. I don't think those guys enjoy being around each other very much. And so it's like a lot of the, then you look at a band like Rush, where it was just a, band full of joy for 40 years. And it's like, that's what I want. I want to, like, I think it's the most important thing is the relationship with your people, and making sure that, everyone's happy, everyone's healthy, and, eating good and drinking lots of good smoothies. And,
Yeah.
It's all about managing the cards that you're dealt with, right?
yeah, dude. Absolutely.
So I wasn't aware of this, and maybe I should have been, but I wasn't aware that Mountain and the new song White Buffalo are all interlinked.
It's part of a trilogy of songs that we've written about Indigenous issues or Indigenous rights in general. And so the Mountain is kind of what happened in the colonization of the Americas with Indigenous people. And End of the Road is about the missing, murdered Indigenous women, children, and two spirits along the Highway of Tears in northern BC. And this new song, White Buffalo, is what we hope to be the future for Indigenous people worldwide. And that's, to rise up and reclaim the land in peace and prosperity and unity. And so, yeah, it's we've kind of come full circle. It's like the past, present, and the future.
It's a really difficult thing to flush out here now with the time constraints and everything. But
yeah,
in terms of near term for you guys, in terms of live performance, new recordings and stuff, what's in the plans?
Okay, Kev, you got this.
Yes. So White Buffalo. Yeah, baby. So White Buffalo has a few more songs from that session that will be coming out to flesh this out as a full release. I don't know if we're calling it EP or an LP, but truthfully, Lee, there's not many songs on it, but it's longer than most albums because we are embracing prog and excess, and it's going to be beautiful, and minds will be blown, lives will be changed. I'm very excited for it. We actually just finished an instrumental record with Justin Melly up at Chalet, and it started out as us trying to create like a mental wellness record or a meditation record, but Cody got all of these really dope custom Indigenous flutes shipped to them by Blue Bear Flutes, who was this amazing like flute maker we met on tour in the States a couple of years back. And then the direction of the record changed. And so now it's like, I don't know, like traditional indigenous music paired with like Brian Eno, Robert Fripp soundscapes. And so we're kind of embracing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of embracing like a lot of like these things that we've been experimenting with on the side. And so I'm really excited for that record. And now we're in the middle of rehearsing to make a live in the studio record right now. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, like we're big fans of like Audiotree and KEXP live sessions. And I think like the true marker of a band is how good are you live, right? And Cody and I have always prided ourselves as being a live band. And obviously without touring, there's not a whole lot of good live footage from like our growth for the last few years. And like our set has changed a lot. We're moving into these longer conceptual pieces. And so we're going to go in and we're going to track like a live off the floor kind of record of like some of our favorite songs that we've done over the years and see how we can rearrange it to be, you know, to be where we are now with like different instrumentation. And then after that, we're going to be hitting the road. I don't know how much detail we're allowed to say, but there's going to be a lot of headline dates showing up real soon.
Okay, one more question. The live project that you just talked about, will it be in front of an audience?
I don't think so, just because of COVID protocols right now for the safety of everything. I think we're just going to focus on the performance. It's not going to, you know, like we did these live at Revolution videos a while ago to do Context and Right Way Back. And it's going to be similar to that vibe, kind of live in the studio vibe for sure. Yeah. And then well, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting on the road and recording every show and like analyzing that and seeing how we grow. Like I kind of missed that. That was one of my favorite parts of touring, was listening to the shows. It was Cody's least favorite part. It's like, you know, looking back at old high school photos of yourself, you know, it's like, oh, you see all the things that you did wrong. But I love that. I love kind of learning from that.
Kevin Como, Cody Bowles, Crown Lands. We'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lee.